Now, back to the Insiders with James Ham and Kyle Madsen, brought to you by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320.
James is over there. I'm Kyle. That's Joe. We're talking about the NBA draft lottery. Won suspiciously by the Dallas Mavericks last night. 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320. That is the Elk Grove Kia talk line. If you'd like to jump in on the program and join the conversation. Of course, you can also join the conversation in the chatty house at youtube.com/ESPN1320 or twitch.tv/ESPN1320. And while you're there, please subscribe to our channel. We would appreciate the heck out of that. Hit the little notification bell. That way you get notified when we go live, which we do every day at 9:57 a.m.-ish right here on ESPN 1320. But we've got some questions there as well that I want to run through because you've started a few and we have some really good ones. Let's start with our guy. Jim Garfinkel asks, does this lottery change the direction of the Kings? Not the identity, the direction. I don't think. Can I start here?
Yeah.
I don't think it changes their direction because their direction was, okay, they're not going to have their pick this year. So they're going to, Scott Perry in the front office are going to start whatever path they're going to take, whatever direction they're going to go down. They're going to start it without a first round pick. Had the Kings jumped into the top four, I think it changes their direction.
Oh, I agree.
That changes the calculus dramatically.
Yeah.
But by even Dallas jumping up and the Spurs jumping up and those two teams being in the West and possibly building, juggernauts here over the next couple of years, that doesn't change anything for me of what the Kings should be doing.
No. Okay, so, when you get sushi, right? It always comes with like the sliced ginger, right?
Yeah.
This was a full-on palate cleanser for the Kings. That's like they just okay, it's over, it's done with. We ripped the Band-Aid off.
Yes.
We no longer have our 2025 pick, but July 1st is like the biggest day for Scott Perry ever because now he starts with a completely clean slate with a 2026, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32 first round picks that are his own.
And just real quick, and none of those are like, but this might go to this team, and if it doesn't convey, nope, it is. They all belong to the Kings.
Yeah, their 2031 does have that little asterisk. It's a potential pick swap with the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes.
On top of that, they have the Spurs unprotected 2027 pick and the Timberwolves unprotected 2031 pick. Keep an eye on those. Those are two of the most valuable pieces the Kings can have because what they do is they free you up to trade your own picks, but also to make blockbuster trades with unprotected picks that aren't yours.
Yes.
So it does not matter what you do and what you don't do. They are other teams' unprotected first-round picks, which could be so incredibly valuable. It's ridiculous.
2 unprotected firsts in a deal is crazy.
You're getting
an
star-level player.
You're not throwing an unprotected first at somebody for Kyle Kuzma. You're throwing unprotected firsts for, Ja Morant, like that type of that type of deal. I don't know if I'd do that for Ja specifically, but that type of player.
Yeah, and there's always a potential that like a team you're dealing with may have a player that's so good that you have to throw in 1 or 2 of your own picks.
Sure,
but you can give a team a 26 and a 27 and a 28 and a 31 or a 30. Like you have so many options now.
A lot of draft capital.
Yeah, and the fact that they're staggered is really brilliant. The other thing it does is the way the Kevin Huerter trade worked out is that if you didn't give up your pick next season, it converted into 2 second-round picks, a 26 and a 27 second-round pick. Because the Kevin Huerter trade is now over and done with, the Kings also get those 2 picks back. They could not, they were basically held in a bank.
Right.
You could not use your 26 or 27 second-round pick. So now the Kings have a 25, 26, 27. Now check this out. They don't have a 28, 29, 30, or 31 second-round pick. They've got a 32. So they're back up to 4 second-round picks total over the next 7 years.
Charlotte's first this year conveys as a 26 and 27 second.
Yeah, but they already traded that pick for Jake LaRabia.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think they traded one of those picks for LaRabia and one pick for Valanciunas.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, look, this was, to me, it's that moment where Scott Perry goes, okay, I now know what I have to work with. Completely.
Yes.
There are no more question marks. I know exactly what I have to work with, and can I plot out a pathway? And that's where, again, a guy like DeMar DeRozan, you might be able to trade him in a deal like what we talked about, just a not even reporting, a speculative.
Not a report.
Like, this would work financially deal of Duncan Robinson and Jaime Jaquez.
Not a report.
For DeMar DeRozan. So there's that type of deal, right? There's also a deal where you find a team that would take on DeMar DeRozan, and maybe you've got to give up a couple of second-round picks just to dump the salary. A team with a bunch of salary cap space,
sure,
and maybe they would take 2 seconds to take on that contract because DeMar is still a player, right? As opposed to when you had to give up the 24th pick or 25th pick and the draft a couple of years ago to dump the $25 million owed to Rashawn Holmes.
Sure,
right? So, like, there are a lot of ways you can do it, but then there's also the other types of deals where you can take DeMar DeRozan, stack on Devin Carter's contract. Now you're dealing with up to 37 million bucks worth of contract. You add a couple of first round picks. Now you're cooking to go get a player that you really that upgrades your roster.
You can go get, they now have the assets. Now, whether this deal gets pulled off, no clue. But they have the assets, the draft capital, the contracts to make a major swing. Not a major swing like Cam Johnson, a major swing like Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They have the assets to go play in that pool. And again, now whether they can pull that off, I don't know, because OKC's got assets like that. San Antonio's got assets like that. Houston's got assets like that. Like there are other teams with that, but the Kings now get to be in that group
if they choose. If they choose to
they
go
want
there.
to. Yes.
And, I mean, that's what happens when you have 9 first-round picks.
Not a report.
No. Yeah, we're not. We are reporting. They do have 9 first-round picks.
That's it. Yes,
they do have 9 first-round picks and 4 second-round picks over the next 7 years. But over the next 7 years, they have 9 first-round picks. Sure. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
And especially when you factor in those extra picks in 27 and 31. It just gives you so much fluidity,
and then you can start tacking on pick swaps. Like you can really do some damage in the trade market if you're Scott Perry and the Kings. Our guy TC is on the line. We'll get to more good chatty house questions here in a second, but I want to get to TC because TC is feeling good about where the Kings are at from a draft capital perspective. What's up, TC?
Yes, sir, man. What's up with my two bros? Kyle and Hammer.
Vibing, man.
What's going on, dude?
Hey, vibing for real. Hey, Hammer. Hey, Kyle. I like where we're at, bro. I like our draft pick selection. I like where we're at. So, I don't care about that first round pick, bro, because I think moving forward right now, I think we're in a better predicament. Like, am I right? Don't we got to like the 14? What's that? Almost 14 and a half trade exception?
No, they have a $16.8 million trade exception for Kevin Huerter.
Man, Hammer. So we almost got a $20 million. We could take almost a $20 million player and our unprotected first, bro. Listen, man, it's finna get juicy, bro. Kings fans, get ready. I'm excited, Ham and Kyle. I'm excited, bro.
Thanks, TC. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Gonna get juicy?
Well, I'll tell you.
Get ready.
Salute.
That's one of the other things that I wrote down for today. The Kevin Huerter trade is finally over, but realistically, it's not. Because the second Kevin Huerter trade came with this little weird asterisk that you were able to do a deal where you didn't have to take money back for Kevin Huerter, and it created $16.8 million trade exception, which is good all the way until the trade deadline next year.
Man,
so that's a lot of money, and so as long as you're not hard capped, right, which is what happened last year with the Kings,
right, which happens on a sign and trade,
right? As long as you don't hard cap you don't, again, this summer hard cap yourself, that means you could get all the way up to the trade deadline and you could already be close to the luxury tax. You could blow right over the top of the luxury tax and take on a $15 million player from another team.
Another fascinating aspect of all this.
Yeah.
Will they do that?
Well,
we have no idea.
The crazy thing is I have more confidence that Scott Perry would try to do that
Yeah.
than I did with the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just honestly,
and they're in a position now. And again, this is where they're set up. The place they're starting from. This does not mean they're going to get to this ultimate finish line, this pie in the sky finish line that we're talking about. But they are starting from a position where they can go get players where you would be very well justified to go over the luxury tax. It wouldn't be just doing it to just have guys.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
You take one big swing, you take a second big swing, all of a sudden you've got your small forward, you've got your point guard locked up, and that's in your rotation. And you see a way that you can go get another big time player that you think can really push you like over the top. That's when you do it.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about this forever, and RIP Rory, we used to fight all the time about the fact whether the Kings were willing to, spend and go into the luxury tax. To be honest, when have they been in the position? And they should have been in the position 2 years ago where they did. They went in the luxury tax to improve the roster, but they didn't. And so you're always left with that. Well, maybe they won't. But it's a big difference between being an NBA luxury tax paying team and basically being an NBA, like the equivalent of a welfare team.
Yeah.
You get a lot more money back from the league. I mean, we're talking about 13, 14 million bucks that they're going to get, and all the money that you save by not going over the tax.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Plenty more coming up for what the NBA draft lottery means for the Kings. We're taking your calls at 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320. That's the Elk Grove Kia talk line. And then we got some more questions in the chatty house that we want to get to as well. All that coming up in the second hour. That's James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. We're the Insider, sponsored by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320. It is Sacramento Sports Leader.